Oh my, hello. It's me, Tom, a cannabis business lawyer, here to tell you about the cannabis legalization news. And if you didn't know, cannabis made the front cover of Barron's again for February 18th, 2019. And it's a fairly extensive story that goes into the various large players. If you want to get the analysis of where the stock markets stand for cannabis, like and subscribe right now. And you're going to want to stick around until the end, because that's when you'll find out what me, a former stockbroker before I became a lawyer. Well, technically I became a lawyer before I became a stockbroker. I became a stockbroker in 2008. Boy, did I go back to practicing law and actually help to mop up a lot of the mortgage foreclosure crisis. But that's not why we're here today. Today we're here to talk about, well, first, thank you for being 300 subscribers strong. That's why we're really here, to celebrate our 300 subscribers. It just makes a much worse title for SEO purposes than Barron's Magazine and top marijuana stocks. And the top marijuana stock, we have Acreage Holding, MedMen Enterprises, Curaleaf Cannabis, Curaleaf Holding, Harvest Health and Recreation, GTI, Green Thumb Industries, and IANT. That's the problem when you have closely held corporations like the marijuana stocks are in America, because if you want to trade a marijuana stock, the problem with that is you have to buy a Canadian stock. For example, Canopy Growth is one of these marijuana stocks that you can buy on the exchange, but those marijuana stocks must only be doing business in Canada where it is lawful. The American marijuana stocks like Acreage Holdings, where John Boehner is on the board, they don't have to be traded. They are not publicly for sale on exchanges because the SEC kind of has a problem with the obvious money laundering that goes on in the buying and selling of marijuana stocks, as it still remains to this day, February 18th, 2019. A Schedule I substance, and because of that it creates a litany of crimes, and the SEC just can't allow those crimes to continue for profit on its exchanges. The SEC doesn't have any exchanges, it's a regulatory authority oversighting. Anyway, that doesn't matter. One of the cool things about these companies is that they are very closely held with a lot of insider control. For example, Acreage Holdings has 89% insider shareholders. MedMen Enterprises has 87% of its shares held by closely held insiders. Curaleaf has 84% insiders. Curaleaf has 78% insiders. Harvest Health and Recreation has 64% insiders. Meanwhile, GTI, Green Thumb Industries, has only 25% insiders holding. So what does it mean when you have a lot of insiders holding your stocks? There could be lockups. There could also be price manipulations. Now, we're not really talking about the rule from 1970 that allowed that one company that Ross Perot was considering buying. The 1970 stabilization rule. No, not quite that, but you have a lot of insiders holding the stock, and if those stocks go public, then they cannot unload the shares as quickly, and therefore you can't really trust its numbers and its projections. They can all be quite pie in the sky. However, the appetite for marijuana stocks is almost insatiable. Basically the same type of appetite we saw for Bitcoin less than 2 years ago, or that we saw for the dot-com bubble that we saw from 2000 to 2001. I was talking to one of my friends who's also an investor in a particular marijuana company. I didn't say it so far because I don't see it featured prominently in the Barron's article. It's a large player as well. I'm not sure what its breakdown of insider shareholders are. Doesn't matter. He's also got 30 years experience in the investment industry. I got drummed out of the business after a year. I had student loan payments, my friends. And he tells me that it is a lot like what he saw in 1999 leading up to the dot-com boom. So these marijuana stocks, which you really can't buy right now unless they're Canadian, your Acreage Holdings and these other closely held stocks, once those get listed on the exchanges, great. However, think about them like there's going to be a bubble and there's going to be a bust. You're welcome to the end. If you've been enjoying this conversation, please like and subscribe to our channel and ask your cannabis business questions in the comments.